Welcome to the Reese Report. I am the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and it is week 5 of the NFL season. We now have a quarter of the season that has passed us by, and now we have an idea of what these teams might be like, might not be like, and then we have some teams that are completely unpredictable like they are every year in the NFL. And that is where we're going to start this week as I welcome Jose Carlos Gomes and Gilbert Santos to the show. Let's start with the records. I now have a 3-game lead over Jose and Gil at 40 and 24, while Jose and Gil at 37 and 27. It's a nothing lead, but it's a welcome lead because I start off shit every year. So we'll see how that goes. But we're going to start this week, obviously, with the request. I need more subscribers. I need more likes, people. I would really appreciate it. I'm now 3 away from 700. I'm losing people. I need to gain people, okay? So please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the show. Now, I'm adding something new this week that I hope my fellow showmates like, and I hope you like. And it's called the Fraud List. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Because we talk about frauds all the time on the show, in between the show, you know, here and there, while we're out talking on the street, while we're arguing on WhatsApp. But I'm going to give it to you straight right now. Now, this list can change every week. But this is based on what I saw last week, okay? And we'll see if Gil and Jose agree. We'll see if they have something that bothered them that's going to get put on the fraud list. But let me start with number 3. This is my top 3 frauds, people. Let's start with Gil's defense. What in the world happened to your defense, Gil? You allowed 40 points to a team with no freaking CeeDee Lamb? What an embarrassment. You tied 40-40 with the Cowboys. Really? Cost me a big parlay, by the way. Romeo Doubs, you were not the problem. Jordan Love, you were not the problem. Jacobs, you weren't the problem. Where the hell was the defense? Where's Micah Parsons, Mr. 50's $47 million? So you know what? Until I see them after the bye week, you're on the fraud list. Now, let's go to number 2, and this one hurts my heart. Brock Purdy. Listen. I like you, Brock Purdy. I really do. I think you're better than Jimmy G. But this is not good. Okay, I know you got a toe injury, okay? I know you've had some injuries. But in your last 16 games, you're a very average quarterback. And this year, you've thrown 4 picks. 4 really, really bad picks, okay? And now you're going to be out on Thursday, and Mac Jones is coming. And the guy's coming for your job. We paid you $50 million after you played on a discount for years. I need to see better than what I've been seeing from you. The team's 3-1, and it needs you to be at your best if it's going to stay at 3-1 or higher. Because the Seabags are coming and the Rams are coming. Purdy, not looking good. You got Christian McCaffrey. I know your receivers are hurt, but you got to do better than this. Because right now the 49ers are struggling on offense because of you. So you got to be better, Purdy. Okay? So you're on the fraud list for now. But now that you're hurt, I might have to change it. I was going to honorable mention to Justin Herbert, who went to the G-Man and lost to a rookie quarterback throwing 2 picks. I don't want to forget about him because everyone's calling him the greatest quarterback since Peyton Manning after 3 wins, and then he goes and loses to a rookie and the Giants. Okay? But finally, number 1 on the list, the Ravens. I mean, it's pretty easy, the Ravens. I told the guys last week, if you're going to Kansas City with that defense, you're going to get pumped. And what happened? KC gets Worthy back, and they look like a juggernaut, 37-20. Lamar Jackson is now hurt. The defense is one of the worst in the NFL. Only Dallas is worse. And John Harbaugh, your time is coming, buddy. You've been a coach for a long time, but that team looks awful. They're fumbling all over the place. They have injuries. They can't defend a stiff breeze. And now Lamar, once again in a big game, comes up small. So the Ravens, who are widely expected to be a major contender in the AFC, are 1-3 and are 100% on the fraud list. Guys, anything you'd like to add, agree, disagree, or comment on? Pretty good list?
Yeah, pretty good. I can add as a fraudulent, like I said, Cam Ward. Brutal. I don't know why he got picked. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Want to talk frauds of all frauds? Can't even get a point.
So 26-0. That's a good one.
I think that's one of the frauds, and I agree with you on the Ravens. The Ravens should be one as well. Horrible, you explained enough. And I don't know, and I don't think the fraud is really a fraud, but I expected better from the Jets. And
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
they're they just don't look like we thought. I'm not saying they were supposed to be amazing, but I expected a little bit more from them.
And it's not Fields. Fields has played relatively well for them, but their defense is terrible, and they just can't get out of their own way. Jose, do you have any frauds you want to mention or anything you disagree with?
No, your
Pretty
list was
good.
okay.
Yep.
Um, I just, I'm not trying to defend because I was made of 49ers, but I don't think Brock Purdy is a fraud. Um, he had a bad game. There was a couple of throws that McCaffrey's juggling the ball and it gets intercepted. There's a couple that were overthrown. Yes, that is true. But he's coming off an injury, a toe injury. He's not 100%. There's no excuses though. He's a $50 million quarterback. He's got to be playing better. But I don't think he's a fraud. The team's 3-1. It's not like they're 0-3 or whatever, so it's not that bad.
Yep.
As for the Packers, dude, they had a bad game defensively. Like you can't, dude. It's just one of those games that basically Dallas, that was their Super Bowl this year. It is. It's true. It was their Super Bowl, and that's their freaking game of the season, basically. Um, but besides that, I agree with you guys on a couple of things. The Ravens are disappointing, yeah, but they've been hammered with injuries on the defensive end. So, dude, the injuries catch up onto everybody. What I've noticed a lot has been a lot of bad injuries to superstar players.
Yeah, man.
It's sad. It's like to see a lot of good guys getting injured and out for the season with horrible injuries.
Shout out to
Uh,
Tyreek Hill. I
yeah, the
hope you're okay.
neighbors,
That
Malik
was bad,
Neighbors,
man.
and all those
Yep.
guys. Yeah,
Yep.
man. So yeah, that's what it is basically, pretty much.
All right, so we'll discuss other teams as we go along, and I'll ask Gil about his Packers defense and if he's worried about his Packers defense. Actually, since they're not playing this week, Gil, are you worried, or is it a one-game thing about the Packers defense? Because it's not Jordan Love. Their offense looked great.
I think it was a one game thing because Dallas came to play. They got humiliated by the Packers last year in the playoffs. Parsons comes in. Dallas had to step up, and you know what? They did. Everything went on all cylinders. Things probably went their way. I think that won't happen again.
Do you believe that blocked extra point changed the game?
Momentum, a little bit of the momentum. Yes, I
Because they
think
were up
so.
13-0 at that point. It looked like it was going to be a blowout, and then that seemed to change everything.
Correct.
Okay, we'll see after the bye. It's a really good time for the Packers to have a bye, to be honest, after that game. So, and I think they get Cleveland. No, they don't get Cleveland. They get Cincinnati after the bye, which should be a very good turnaround game for them. So, we'll see what happens. All right, let's get to the Thursday nighter. This game's not going to be pretty, folks. The 49ers, who I love dearly, as you can tell by my background, are without the following: Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, George Kittle, and Nick Bosa, and Brock Purdy, and are going to LA to take on a healthy Rams team. I'm really, really sorry, but the Rams are going to win, and it's not going to be pretty. Jose.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's gonna be. I don't know what. It's a divisional game. The defense can keep them in the game, but the Rams will win this game. Give me the Rams.
Gil, I haven't seen an injury list this long in a long time. Who do you got?
Yeah, the Rams are going to win at home. Niners are going to have to rely on the running game. And you know what? Sometimes they always find those guys that make it happen, but it's just too many injuries, I think. The Rams should win this one.
Yeah, you know, like I said, the 49ers just got to hang in there and hope to get healthy, but man, some of these injuries are just piling up. Let's go to, again, another, I believe, Sunday morning game from London as the Minnesota Vikings play their second consecutive game overseas They go to Sorry, they go to London. They're playing the Browns. We're starting Dylan Gabriel, not Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. They finally benched Joe Flacco, so we're gonna get Gabriel against Wentz. Wow, is this gonna be bad? Guys, take the under, big time. Should be a defensive battle here. Um, I don't know what to expect from Dylan Gabriel. I expect a boost because Joe Flacco's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I very, very almost I should have taken the Giants last week at getting a boost from Dart. I just don't see it this time. I think Minnesota's going to rebound and win this game. I think that they had a chance against Pittsburgh, but they just got behind the eight ball, and Rodgers, got it done. But I don't think Minnesota's losing two in a row, so I'm going to take the Vikings over the Browns. I don't believe in Dylan Gabriel. Gil?
Yeah, I agree too. Like he's a left-hander, and I don't know. Even when he played for the Ducks, he wasn't that great. Like it's tough though because the Browns,
Their defense is good. Yeah,
their defense is good. Wentz might have a hard time there too,
yeah,
as the Packers did, right? So I don't know. This is a tough one.
it is a tough one.
Yeah, give me the Vikings then. I just don't believe in Dylan either. I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Had this game been in Cleveland, I would have thought about taking Cleveland, but because it's in stupid London, yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings. Jose.
I'm just gonna take the Minnesota Vikings based on them being already there, and the Cleveland have to fly there, and the hour change and stuff like that. It affects the players. It's been proven already the past years when the team travels there and the team is already there. They're like plus like a 70% of winning
Big
percentage.
advantage. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Minnesota.
All right, let's go to the Dallas Cowboys, who have managed to score 40 points in two games this year. I mean, Dak Prescott's playing out of his mind. I guess Schottenheimer is a really good offensive coordinator. I knew earlier in the year when we did our preview, Dallas was going to have to outscore teams to win games, but I didn't expect this. They're playing the Jets and Justin Fields. The Jets, I don't know. They're 0-4. I feel like they're better than they were last year, but they still find ways to lose games. Miami dominated them last week, and so I cannot see how the Jets win this game. I'm going to take Dallas and hope that Dallas doesn't have a massive letdown after that game last week, which could happen. Jose.
I'm going to go take the upset here. I just think
Yeah.
the Jets. I think the Jets are due for a win. Um, that was the Super Bowl last week for Dallas, and I think Fields as a dual threat is going to cause them trouble. If Russell Wilson can put up 400, almost 500 yards on him, I think he can do too. And I think they can stay with the wide receivers. Sauce Gardner, I feel sorry for him. Like he's a great player, but he's all there by himself. And supposedly Quentin Williams is supposed to come back this week, so that's another havoc there in the middle. So give me the Jets in the upset of the week.
Yo.
Yeah, I agree with Jose. I think
Yeah.
the upset's going to happen here. Everybody's going to be, oh, Dallas played so good against the Packers, and then this is going to be the kind of game with no Lamb or anything. I just think Dallas had the home crowd against the Packers, and their mentality was different on that game. And like Jose said, that was like their Super Bowl. And I think now they're back to reality. I think the Jets are not going to go 1-5. They're better than that. And I think they use this game, and I think they're at home. They're going to sing Jets, 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 and I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I think that could happen. The letdown could easily happen. But Dallas defense is still terrible. And it can't stop anybody. I mean, Caleb Williams had a field day. So this is, once again, just me hoping they outscore the Jets. Now we get to a very interesting game, which is another game I believe will be very low scoring, as the Denver Broncos go to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Eagles won a game last week, passing for 0 yards in the second half. Like if Baker doesn't throw that pick, I think Tampa Bay comes back to win that game. But they held on despite throwing for 0 yards in the second half. AJ Brown is going on Instagram saying that he feels lonely not getting the ball, wants to get traded even though they're winning. The Broncos had a very easy time with the Cincinnati Bengals last week, beating a team that has no quarterback. Talk about feeling bad for somebody. If you had Higgins and Chase in fantasy, you should trade him for Gill because maybe Gill will get more points. I got to go Philly at home. The Eagles always find a way to win. I just trust them at home more than I do Denver. The Broncos should have beat the Chargers and didn't, so I'll go with that they'll lose to the champs. But Denver's getting better week by week. Gil?
I'm gonna take Denver as the upset here. I just think Philadelphia is not gonna have a perfect season, and I
No,
think they're gonna face a good defense here, one of the best defenses in the league. So I think because Philly's been winning their games, but they haven't been convincing either.
no.
So I think with this defense here, the Broncos put some points. I think Philly might be in trouble. So I'm gonna take Denver.
Jose?
I'm going to take Philly because it's going to be a heavy dose of Barkley running the ball.
We saw what Jonathan Taylor did to
Yeah,
that defense.
exactly. So
Right.
I think Philly's going to do the same, and Hurts will get the ball, throw the ball out quickly, so they don't get that pressure on him. But I think Philly's going to squeak one out in a close one.
All right, let's go to the Houston Texans, who finally got a win over the hapless Tennessee Titans, 26-0. They get a very fortunate schedule break here as they go to Baltimore to take on a very injured Ravens team. The Ravens are probably going to start Cooper Rush as Lamar Jackson has a hamstring injury. He's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. They have a million injuries on the defensive end. I think Houston wins this game easily. I think they throw for a bunch of yards, and I think C.J. Stroud last week in the fourth quarter, despite it being against the Titans, showed me something. And Woody Marks, they finally got a running game out of Woody Marks, and Collins started catching the ball. I think Houston wins this game. I think Baltimore's done. Unless they miraculously get some of their guys back and Lamar comes back quicker, I think they could be done. I got Houston. Jose?
Injuries are catching up to the Ravens, but with Henry there, you know what? Cooper Rush has already been played. He's played with the Dallas system and stuff like that. I'm gonna take. I don't know. I just don't trust Houston offensively. They haven't bet anybody good. Their defense is good, but I think if Baltimore sticks to rushing the ball and play action here and there to Zay Flowers and stuff like that, I think they can pull off this one at home, and they need this win too. So I'm gonna take Baltimore.
I get it.
But
I just, like I said last week when I took KC, it's like I'm always going to take the better defense in those situations. Jose or Gil, who do you like?
Yeah, I agree with Jose. I think Cooper Rush will probably make them look weird. They're gonna go more of a heavy running, some play action to Flowers, even Hopkins, right? So it'll change what Houston can look at the game film because it's a whole different. Baltimore's going to go a whole different game plan. So Houston can watch all the game plans they want. This is going to be a whole different Raven team, and I think they're going to sneak one out.
All right, you guys are on the Ravens. Now let's go to the Ugly Bowl, but a game that will be interesting for me as the Giants and Jackson Dart, who I was a week late on this one. I should have known they were going to get that big burst out of Dart. They somehow beat the Chargers even without Malik Neighbors as Dart ran all over the field and threw some good passes, got hit a few times as well. They go to New Orleans to take on the Saints. I said last week I'd be taking the Giants in this game, and I'm not going to change my mind. I think that Dart has a field day with that secondary. I think they run the ball with Scadaboo, and I think they win their second game at New Orleans. Jose.
I agree with you. But this is one of those iffy games, man.
Oh,
When
yeah,
you
New Orleans can win this game. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
it's like one of those toss-up games. You think the Giants are coming off a high, and then all of a sudden they come back to reality. like I said with the Carolina game. But I'm gonna take the Giants. I just think the Giants are a better team all around, and with Dart, he brought some energy. They got Scottaboo running the ball pretty well, and they got the good defense. So I'm gonna take the Giants as well.
Gil, are you going to take Spencer Rattler?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Yes, I
Tell
am.
me why. Tell me why.
I feel like he's gonna run around. I feel Kamara. I felt all of last week getting hypered. I just think the Saints at home, like you look at these records, they're not gonna lose every single game, and I think this is a home game. I think Kamara eats them alive. All of some deep passes, and I just think the Saints might get a turnover or two to help them out.
Yeah, I mean it's not out of they absolutely can win the game. I just think Dart's got this team rolling. I mean Neighbors is a big loss, but I think Dart's got this team rolling now. I think that locker room did not like Russell Wilson very much. Let's get to the Raiders. Austin Genty, I asked you last week to show up against an ugly Bears defense, and you did. So thank you for that. Now you got to go take on the Colts, a team that's on a roll, who, for the second time in 2 years, Barbosa, had a touchdown taken away because they threw the ball away before the goal line. I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's teaching these guys how to do it, but this is 2 times now where they gave up a touchdown and it cost them the game. The Rams had no business winning that game, but they did because of that touchdown turnaround, changed the whole game. However, the Vegas defense is awful. The Colts are going to go crazy. Gino's throwing picks all over the place. I don't think he can be the Italian stallion anymore, throwing picks everywhere. Genty might have a good game, but if they get down early, it's not going to be pretty. I got the Colts. Joe?
Yeah, I got India. This home crowd, Raiders they're just getting picked off everywhere. Geno Smith, I think, has the most interceptions in the league right now. Unless they run heavy, but the Colts defense can stop the run too. So, and at the end of the day, Jonathan Taylor, Vegas not going to stop him. Pittman's catching everything. Daniel Jones, he's looking good there. So you got to take the Colts.
Jose?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm picking the Colts as well. Vegas has nothing going on for them. Defensively, offensively, Indy's playing well. They should have won that game last week, but in saying that at home they should win this game. So I'm picking.
I mean, Genty had that game, and Geno Smith just could not stop giving the Bears the ball. The Vegas should have won that game last week. I think it was a block field. There's been a lot of block field goals this year, and it's changed some games this year. Like blocked extra points, block field goals. Like it's been happening a lot. Changed a few games this year. Let's go to the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, nasty injury. When I watch this, I would be very angry at the defensive player. Now, Gil, you're more the MMA guys. That looked like a guy who was MMAing that guy's leg. Like, he went down and it didn't look like anything crazy at the start, but then he twisted his leg as he went down, and I feel like the guy ripped his knee out. Gil, you tell me, did that look like a nasty, play by the defensive player?
Yeah, I think as it was happening, and then he kind of pushed it out after.
He twisted his
So
leg as he went down,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like more towards the end, looked like he did it on purpose. But you don't want to think that, right? But yeah,
No.
it looked a little bit debatable.
Yeah, it looked pretty nasty, but unfortunately for the Dolphins, life goes on, and they got to go to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Now, I'm no fan of the Panthers, but they beat down Atlanta 30-0 at home, which tells me they're a home team. And the Dolphins have got to be reeling a little bit from this injury. I think Carolina wins this game. I don't think Miami's going to be able to rely on Darren Waller getting 2 touchdowns next week, so I got the Panthers. Jose?
I don't know, man. This game, there's nothing much to this game, man. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna take Carolina as well. I think they're coming off a big win at home, and I don't know. Maybe this is gonna affect them mentally. The Tyreek Hill injury. So I don't know. I'm just gonna take Carolina.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Carolina. Uh, Dolphins, even though they weren't playing too bad lately, they had a good game against the Bills too, even though they lost. But yeah, Carolina, you just feel like they're starting to feel young there. So we'll see. Maybe they're looking forward to next year for sure, but they're trying to get something. I think Carolina win. Like you seen what they did at home to Atlanta, right? It was 30-0. So
Yeah, yeah, that's why I'm taking him. I mean, Miami can still run it with Achan, but it's going to be really difficult to get time for Tua to throw the ball without Tyreek Hill spreading the defense. So I think he's going to get sacked a lot and throw some picks. Now let's get to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Boy, Baker Mayfield. Even when he loses, I want to cheer for the guy. Like he came back, he threw that pick. He was getting hit all over the field. He fought his way back in that game. He threw 270-yard, incredible touchdown passes. It just wasn't enough at the end. But his reward is to go to Seattle to take on this Seabags defense, which is absolutely deadly right now. They're just destroying teams on defense. They allowed Arizona back in the game because their kicker can't kick inside the damn zone that they have, and that allowed Kyler Murray to get a couple of late touchdowns. But the Seabags controlled that game. The Bucks still have a lot of injuries. I'm going to take Seattle. I love Tampa Bay, but I got to go Seattle here. Too many injuries. When they get fully healthy, I think Tampa Bay is a Super Bowl contender. But they're going through their midseason time, so like they did last year when they had too many injuries and couldn't beat the Atlantas of the world. So I've got Seattle. Yo.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough game too. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Seattle as well. Home team. They're playing well defensively. They play the ground game. Yeah, I'll go with Seattle. I think Seattle will end up winning.
I'm still not sure about Darnold. Like he said, like everyone's praising him right now, but man, a couple of games where he's scoring 17 points and they're winning. I mean, that defense is the story for me right now, and Kenneth Walker. Jose?
I'm just gonna take Seattle based on their run game. I think they're running the
Yeah,
game very, very well. And
yeah,
last week, Barkley ran over all over that defense of Tampa Bay. So I'm just take yeah.
yeah. I just think it's a bad matchup at a bad time for the Bucks. Let's see here. All right, we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back on the Reach Report with the 4 o'clock games and our point spread best bets. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the Reach Report. We are now going to the last 5 games of Week 5. Let's start with the Tennessee Titans, who Gil correctly said earlier in the show was not only has a bad quarterback, but might have one of the worst coaches in the league and one of the worst teams in the league. They go to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, who I'm not big fans of. I think Kyler Murray's going to leave the Cardinals this year. I think that there's problems there. Harrison and him are not clicking, although he did make some plays at the end of that game. There's clearly issues between quarterback and players, and they can't seem to get the most out of that team. They lost another running back to a major injury this week. However, when you're playing the Titans, it doesn't matter. I got the Cardinals. Gil.
Yeah, I still think the Cardinals will beat the Titans. I see the Titans try to use Pollard a little bit more.
They should.
Arizona's defense is a little weaker, but yeah, day Kyler Murray's a mobile quarterback. I think Tennessee will have a hard time. I think Arizona will win.
Will Tennessee score any points, Gil?
Yeah, Arizona's defense is not gonna stop Tennessee for 0. No.
Okay. Jose.
Yeah, Arizona should win this game. Last week, Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison got a little bit of, a little dose of each other late, and hopefully maybe they'll continue with this week with the connection. So give me Arizona.
All right, let's get to what I believe is the game of the week. The Washington Commanders get back Jaden Daniels this week, and just in time to go to the Chargers to take on Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, and the LA Chargers. This is a really tough game because I'm a big fan of Daniels. The problem I have with Washington is their defense has really struggled, and it's Daniels' first game back. I don't know if Terry McLaurin's going to play in this game. They have Debo and Ertz out there. They're playing 3 running backs by committee. So I really don't know what the Commanders are right now. The Chargers, bad loss last week, poorly coached game, allowed the rookie to run all over the field. But I think this is a rebound game for the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers at home because I just don't know what the Commanders are right now. Jose.
Um, at the beginning of the season, I did pick Jaden Daniels to win the MVP, but that was a horrible pick. But anyways, in saying that, if Washington is healthy, I can see them winning this game, but
Sure.
they're not healthy right now, and LA is coming off a bad loss. They're gonna want to rebound, so give me LA Chargers as well.
Gil, this is a story of two teams that you hate, the shitty Chargers and the Seamen. What do you got?
I'm going to go with the Chargers. Uh, Washington, Daniels is coming back. Chargers is a wake up call. I just think they took the G-men too lightly. I think they were overlooking the game already, and they got shell shocked. I think they'll go back to reality. They're at home. I give me the Chargers.
Yeah, that's I think that's going to be a really fun game to watch at 4 o'clock. We shall see. Okay, let's not waste too much time on this one. The Detroit Lions are going to Cincinnati to take on Jake Browning. This one ain't going to be pretty, folks. I got the Lions. Gil?
Yeah, obviously. Let's see if the Bengals can score more than 3 points at least.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals, I don't know if they're capped out. They might be because they paid all their receivers and Joe Burrow, but like you've got two quarterbacks out there that they could trade for today, and they should. But they just Browning is not the answer. Jose?
Yeah, I'm picking Detroit. They're clicking right now on all cylinders offensively, and both them and sorry, and the Bengals are a disaster. And you can start seeing Chase getting upset in the sideline, yelling and screaming with the coach. He's getting fed up too. So it's not all roses in Cincinnati right now.
I mean, since they built their team to outscore teams, and without a quarterback, they can't do that. I'm no Kirk Cousins fan, but if I'm the Bengals, I'm calling Kirk Cousins. At least he can throw the ball to those guys. Maybe you try to get a young quarterback, something like you can't go on with Jake Browning and scoring 3 points with those receivers out there. But we'll see what the Bengals do. They're a very cheap football team, as we all know. Now let's get to New England. The New England Patriots, who have played well all year. I don't think they've really played a bad game. They've just turned the ball over too much. They just destroyed the Panthers last week. They go to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Now, the Bills, the last couple of games, they've been okay, but not great. Miami put some points up on them. New Orleans gave them a hell of a battle. So this game's going to be close. And it is a scary game. You know, New England could pull something here. I'm going to take the Bills at home, but I wouldn't be shocked if New England pulls an upset here, but I'm going to take the Bills. Gil?
Well, I'm going with history here, and Brady or no Brady, even when the Patriots were not good, they beat them. And the Bills just have a big problem with the Patriots, and I'm going to take the Patriots for the upset on this one.
I mean, New England, their record is what, 2-3, I think their record is, or something like that. Like
2-2.
2-2. I feel like they could be 4-0 if they did not turn the football over this year. The defense has played well. Drake May's played well, but they've had a serious case of the fumbles, which has cost them 2 games. Jose?
I have to check this, but I think Josh Allen's like 1-6 against, or 1-5, or 1-6 against the Patriots.
2-6. 2-6.
Yeah. I like those picks with the New England, but I don't think in Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins this one, and then they lose the one in New England. So I'm taking Buffalo in this one.
Yeah, like I said, I think Gil's got the right. This could be an upset. That New Orleans game was very close for a long time there. And the Bills also could have lost to Miami. So this could be one of those games, division games, where there's an upset. But we'll see what happens. And now let's get to the Monday Nighter as the Kansas City Chiefs rebounded nicely against a horrible injured Baltimore team and won 37-20. They go to Jacksonville to take on a Jaguars team that is struggling mightily on offense, but has a really, really good defense, which has won them a few games. I already know Gil's not taking Goldilocks, but so let me go to Jose. Who do you got in this one?
I'm gonna take KC. I think KC's rolling right now. I think they're getting healthy. They got Worthy back. You can see that they're moving the ball better offensively. Mahomes is looking like the old Mahomes. That defense is playing well, so I'm gonna take KC. The Jags last week, as much as
Yeah,
many turnovers that they got, they could have lost the game at the end anyway too. So
yeah.
anyway, I don't trust the Jags. So I'm gonna take KC in this one.
Gil, are you taking Kermit the Frog or Goldilocks?
I'm gonna take Kermit the Frog. Uh,
Okay.
I agree with Jose. KC's like rolling a little bit. Um, yeah. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I have to go with KC.
Yeah, I don't trust the Jags either. I thought about taking an upset here, but I can't envision Trevor Lawrence beating Mahomes in any game ever, and so I'm taking Kansas City. Like Jacksonville's record is because of their defense and Travis Etienne. Like Lawrence has done nothing. Like he has done very, very little. He hasn't used Hunter very well. Thomas is having a terrible year. Like I think their top receiver is Brandon Strange. Like he's just been terrible. Like their wins have been based on their defense and run game. So I think if you're going to try to do that with Kansas City, you're not going to be successful. So those are our picks that are not against the spread. Now we're going to get to our picks against the spread. We'll give you some of our best bets. Um, I will start off, as I'm just going through these games. Now we're not going to do over unders. I'd like to. I'll throw them in at the end, but we're just going to stick to spreads. But I'm going to start off with the Houston Texans. Now this game opened up as Baltimore -6.5. When the Lamar injury came out, Houston became a 1.5 point favorite, and there's a reason for that. Houston's defense is really good. Yes, their offense has struggled, but I think that any team playing Baltimore's defense right now has a recipe to get going. And I think I saw something last week in the fourth quarter from Houston that gave me some hope that C.J. Stroud might be able to have a breakout game. Woody Marks really gave them a boost in the run game. So I've got Houston -1.5, winning at Baltimore. I think the Ravens defense, until they get their players back, they're going to struggle. And now I don't think Cooper Rush is winning in Houston against that defense. Game number 2 is the Carolina Panthers. I feel bad for the Dolphins. They've played relatively well the last couple of weeks. The injury to Tyreek Hill is a killer, not just off the field, but on the field as well, because he opens up lanes for Davon Achane, allows other players to get open. And when he's not there, it's a lot easier to guard Miami offensively. It allows teams to stack the box and will lead to pressure under Tua, who cannot move. So I'm going to see a lot of sacks and probably a lot of picks for the next little while until they figure it out. And I think Carolina takes full advantage of that. So I've got Carolina covering a 1.5. Miami's favorite right now. That's interesting. Next game is New England Patriots. I think they're covering the 7.5 against the Bills. I think that's way too many points for a division game. I think New England's playing very well. I think Buffalo could have lost to the Dolphins and was playing a very tight game with New Orleans. They seem to be a little bit off offensively, other than Cook, who's just running up a storm. Their defense has been kind of average this year, so I think New England can easily cover this 7.5. So that's pick number 3. I don't want to do this game, but maybe I'll just go 3 this week. Yeah, I'm just going to do 3 this week. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm going to do 3 this week. Jose, you want to go next?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
the Giants covering the 1.5 against the Saints.
Okay.
I got the Chargers covering the two. Oh, sorry, winning the 2.5.
2.5. Yeah.
I got KC covering the 3.5,
JC 3.5. Okay.
and the Patriots covering the 7.5.
Okay, so since you did four, I am going to do four so we keep it consistent. I'm going to take the Lions. I think they're going to crush Cincinnati. I just take that one. I don't like taking big spreads ever, but I'd rather take that game than take the Rams over my 49ers. I just can't do it, even though the Rams could crush them. I'm going to take Detroit. I think that's an easy enough game to take. Gil, who's your four?
Well, I'm gonna take the LA Chargers at the minus 2.5. I think at home, I like Herbert on the bounce back, so I think they're gonna do it. I like the Broncos to cover the 3.5. Even if Philly wins that game, I just think it'll be a field goal. So I like the Broncos to cover that. I'm gonna take the Saints at the 1.5. Uh, I just feel that they're 0-4. They're not gonna lose every game. Rattler didn't play bad against Buffalo. Uh, I think I think I think I see them beating the Giants there. And then I agree with you too. The Patriots plus 7.5. I think Buffalo is going to even be lucky if they win this game.
Yeah, I think New England's a really solid play, guys. That's a lot of points, and Buffalo's played what 3 games in a row at home, and this is a division game. Division games are always close, even when you think it's going to be a blowout. Typically, the game is close. A few over-unders, guys. The 49ers Rams game is going to be a big under, guys. I don't see a lot of scoring in that game. I think Minnesota Cleveland is going to be like 9-6 at some point. Like those two defenses with those quarterbacks, don't expect a lot of points in that game. I mean, yeah, I think that's good for the totals. But yeah, those two are pretty good, pretty solid. So those are our spread picks. Last week I think we all kind of went 2-2 last week. We all had Denver, I believe, last week, who crushed Cincinnati. I had the Eagles. They ended up covering the 5. So we all had our levels of success last week. I don't have the sheet in front of me right now, but if you watch the show, then you know what we got right and what we got wrong. That's why you watch the show. So that's our show. I'd like to thank Jose and Gil for coming on. And just to end the show, since we did this the last 2 weeks and I think people liked it, what did you guys think of Benfica's performance today? See, they lost 1-0 to Chelsea. Jose Mourinho went back home. There was some people throwing stuff at Enzo Fernandez from the Benfica fans throwing stuff on him. What did you guys think?
Well, they lost 1-0. It was a back and forth game, and unfortunately, it was an own goal, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it was unfortunately. I think the tie would have been justified if it stayed tied, but they got that bounce. But Benfica lately hasn't clicked. I think Mourinho needs a little bit more time with the team. He didn't do no preseason, nothing, right, with the players. So we have to give him a little bit of time before we judge him.
Yeah. Why were fans throwing stuff at Enzo Fernandez? Did he do something to Benfica?
Because he wanted out when he was there. It's like he backstabbed the team, right? He was a nobody. Remember, he was a nobody. He went to Benfica, that's where he made his name because nobody even knew who the hell he was.
Yeah. Then he had the crazy World Cup, and then they sold him to Chelsea. Right. Jose, any comments on Benfica?
They're gonna take a ass licking on Sunday. That's all I know.
Who are they playing on Sunday?
Porto.
Oh, okay. So Porto is much better than them, I assume.
Well, so far this year, yeah.
So is he gonna park the bus? Is that what Mourinho's gonna do?
No, they're not gonna park the bus. But dude, like if you've seen the game against Chelsea, it was a boring game. There was a couple of chances for each team. The right result should have been a tie. He was unfortunate to kick the ball in his own net, and that's the only thing that was in the game. There was nothing.
No.
nothing crazy about the game. Right now, I can speak for myself, and I think Gil could agree with me. Right now, Porto's playing the best soccer in Portugal.
Yeah, I agree.
They have the best squad. They upgraded their team completely from last year, and right now they're clicking on all cylinders, man. I think Benfica, the preseason got to them. They didn't have a good a preseason like a normal preseason like every other team. They were in that Club World Cup, and then they like 15 days later they're already practicing to playing for the Champions League, qualifying and stuff like that. So it takes a toll on the players, man. The players, they're humans. They're not robots. But yeah, so no, they'll be fine. I think Mourinho's just trying to bring in his system and stuff like that. He's just trying to get to know his players. But it's going to be a good championship until the end.
All right, so there's our Benfica report. Okay, so we satisfied everyone, and that's our show for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I like talking about the soccer at the end. We'll bring some more of that as we go along, as the World Cup comes to Canada this year. I'm really going to do a lot more soccer content with the World Cup coming here. It's going to be a big deal. And so we're early in the Champions League. We had PSG beat Barcelona today at the Camp Nou, so that was in the 90th minute. So that was fun to watch. So we'll get into that more when it gets into the later stages. But for now, I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese. That's Jose Carlos Gomes and a very tired Gil Santos. We will see you next week on the Reese Report, and you can hit my music.